Madam, respond. Srilata, madam, respond.
Hello.
Hello, madam. Hello. Srilata, madam, respond.
Disconnect అవ్వాలా? హలో భాష సార్.
Madam, madam.
భాష సార్.
Yeah, madam.
రెస్పాన్స్ సార్.
Yeah, madam. Voice clear, madam.
క్లియర్.
Okay.
క్లియర్ సార్.
Register it.
Srilata, madam.
సార్ భాష సార్.
Madam, should we start, madam?
ఓకే సార్.
Good morning to all the participants. I welcome you all to the webinar on impact of COVID-19 on Indian economy, insights from data analytics, organized by Department of Management Studies, Narayana Engineering College, Gudur, by Dr. Kamakshaya, Professor, Geetham University, Vizag. Now I request our head of the department, Dr. P. Srilata, to introduce our chief guest profile. Madam,
సార్.
let's proceed, madam.
ఓకే సార్. ఓకే సార్. థ్యాంక్ యూ. గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ వన్ అండ్ ఆల్. ఐఎమ్ డాక్టర్ శ్రీలత తాటిపర్తి, head of the department, MBA, Narayana Engineering College, Gudur. On behalf of the chairman, Dr. P. Narayana sir, Narayana Educational Society, Mr. Managing Secretary, Mr. Vinay Kumar sir, Director, Dr. A.V.S. Prasad sir, Principal, Dr. C.H.V.S. Parameswarrao sir, in the Department of Management Studies, I welcome all the participants to the webinar, Impact of COVID-19 on Indian Economy, Insights from Data Analytics. The main objective of the webinar is to create an awareness on how to evaluate the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on Indian economy, especially in areas like GDP, GNI, and stock markets. The session will be from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them in the question box in your control panel. We'll bring them up during the presentation and we'll also have time for questions at the end. The feedback link will be provided in the chat box. E-certificates will be generated after filling the feedback form. Now come to our resource person today, Dr. Kamakshaya sir, a notable academician in data analytics. We are proud to be with him here with us. He is an open source software analyst, enterprise architect, Python developer. He is passionate about the healthcare informatics. He is a freelance trainer in data science and analytics. Apart from being a consultant, he has about 22 years of teaching experience. At present, Dr. Kamakshesa is working as a assistant professor Uttam School of International Business, Vizag, with area of expertise in data science, big data analytics, machine learning at AI, IoT, IT for business applications, digital marketing, and marketing analytics. So far, has authored two books, has published around 25 articles in reputed national and international journals, has edited 3 volumes. He has presented 11 papers in seminars and attended 11 workshops and FDPs. He has given corporate training to employees of reputed organizations like Dr. Reddy's Laboratories, Pune, Wipro, and Indian Railways. He also actively involved in mentoring, publishing services, software development, and projects. Thank you, sir. Now, we'll hand over the session to our today's resource person, Dr. Kamakshir, sir. Thank you. Okay.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks a lot. That's actually a very chronic introduction. I thank Narayana College, especially the chairman of the Narayana Group of Institutions and principal of the Narayana College, Guru, and also faculty, head of the department and her team. Most importantly, the principal of the Narayana Engineering College, Guru, and head of the department, and faculty member, Mr. Kaza Basha, who has approached me to deliver to give a brief talk on this topic, impact of COVID-19 on Indian economy. Actually, frankly speaking, so thanks to one and all, and also to all the participants who have been logged into this webinar. I thank one and all for being present for this webinar talk. So that was very quick introduction about me. I am just Dr. M. Kamakshaya, open source software evangelist and also a full stack developer. I am an academic of data science and analytics. I teach R, Python, Hadoop, IoT, machine learning, and then there will be a question like, how come this topic is apt for me to deliver a talk? Actually, I'm not an economist, but I taught economics quite a few times during my tenure as faculty member in different, throughout my experience. We have a subject called managerial economics, and I taught this a couple of times. And this is a very, very, very interesting subject, economics. And coming to today's topic, it is impact of COVID-19 on Indian economy. So delivering a lecture on this topic is rather very difficult because, so all the participants, I hope you are well aware of the present pandemic. We are in a very formidable situation and intimidating times where the pandemic, we are spending in times where we don't have the medical remedy for the social pandemic that we are suffering right now. So collecting data and organizing the data in the form of a presentable way is a bit difficult for this particular topic. I think there is some noise. I'm just going to unmute all. Still there is a lot of noise. Okay, I'll mute all. Yes. So giving a talk on this topic is a bit difficult for a person like me because as I said, I'm an open source software evangelist. My major strength is IT and data science and analytics. I use IT applications to teach data science and analytics. As I said, I teach quite a few programming languages for business management as well as engineering students. My passion is all about teaching business statistics using some of the programming languages like R, Python, Hadoop. In Hadoop, we have so many programming languages like Pig, Hive, HBase, and Scala, Spark, and there are many things like. Since this economics is there in my DNA because I'm a business management teacher. For the past 22 years, I've been teaching various subjects of business management. So I thought, why can't I make a try of delivering the lecture on economics. It's not a lecture, it's just a friendly talk. I don't think you all, I mean, as a participant, you have equal rights on this webinar, as much as I hold my rights on this talk. Okay, coming to the present topic, that is impact of COVID-19 on Indian economy. My plan is like this. I'm just going to talk about what is this COVID-19, and then after that I proceed ahead on economics. And I'm not a biologist, but I do a lot of activity related to genomics. I don't have any qualification in biology, or maybe for that matter, I'm not a medic, but I have quite a few applications developed for this genomic analysis of various species. I am going to talk to you all those things. That is actually advantage of being an IT professional. So if you are an IT professional, especially if you are an open source software evangelist, just like me, I mean open source software technician, just like me, you have no option. So you just have to go ahead. I mean, it all depends on your clients. Whatever your clients ask, because today I offer services to quite a few industries. I develop software for education industry. I develop software for healthcare industry, and I also develop software for a few other, I mean, retail and etc. So if you are an IT person, you don't have any, I mean, option. You just have to deliver things, and you must be up to expectations of your clients, and we don't have the choice. So, and today, I mean, I'm not advising everybody to be an open source. I mean, it is only my humble request. You might have seen my present operating system is also Linux. I'm using Linux, Ubuntu 18.04 for this webinar. I was just like any other individual till 2007. In 2009, my journey of open source had started. I had to search for an operating system which is immune to virus infection. Unfortunately, I mean, it's all about the association. What your association is.
COVID-19 on Indian economy అని వచ్చింది. ఆయన ఉన్నాడు అంతేనా? సరే 10 నిమిషాల నుంచి
I think I'm hearing some noise. Anybody talking to me? I'm muting all, but even then I hear a lot of noise. Pardon? Okay, if you want to talk to me, please write something in chat. And I don't think you really require to talk to me during my lecture. But if at all, if you are not able to stop your urge of communicating to me, then you can just raise your hand or write something in the chat so that I can open my talk to that particular individual. And please don't make noise while I'm talking and I'm in the lecture. I mean, you can talk to your neighbor, but see that you are muted. Otherwise, there will be huge amount of distraction in the lecture. Okay, anyway, so let's go ahead. Now coming to, see, my plan is going to be like this. I'm just going to talk about COVID-19 first, and then I will proceed ahead to Indian economy. And this is what I was just talking about. Who am I? I'm an open source software evangelist and also an academic of data science and analytics. And if you want to, I'm sorry. So this is actually my GitHub page, and anybody of you, all of you, I hope all of you are able to see my browser. I open a new tab, and here there is a little description about my software activity. So if anybody, I have 19 repositories here, and if anybody would like to, they're all free, open source, and they're meant for both industry as well as academics. And there are applications for generic applications for data science and analytics, and there are also domain-specific applications like genomics, machine learning, and also a few tools related to education technology. So you can just go to my GitHub repository. You feel free to download them and use them for your teaching as well as to train your students. Train your students. And if you are a practitioner, a corporate practitioner, you can also make use of them in your work. I have a consultancy, BSc consultancy services. This is an IT firm. So we provide a lot of software development activity. I'm a full stack developer, and this is a corporate activity. And if anybody require consultancy services, you can just go here and you can make use of the contact details. You can make a request, Right now, there is a lot of demand for this education technology. There are online classes, online evaluation, online exams kind of thing. We provide all this software activity. So if anybody is interested, you can just go there and use those contact details so that we can get in touch with you to and see that. And I'm also a writer. I have quite a few articles as well as I've written a couple of books. And I'm not trying to show you how well-versed I am. I'm not trying to tell how big I am. I'm just wanting to. I wanted to divulge some information so that you can contact me back. You can also get in touch with this host, who are providing this webinar to you all. They can divulge my information. By the way, my information is in public domain, and you just have to search Kamakshaya Misnoru or something like that. You will get umpteen number of sources where you can find my information. I have few papers that were kept in SSRN as well as RG, and I also have a Scopus, a couple of papers indexed in Scopus. You can just go there and search for Kamakshaya Kamakshaya there you'll. Now these are my applications which are hosted in public servers. The first one is Advanced Data Science and Business Analytics. This is actually a generic application. You can just click on this. This presentation, I will leave it with the host, and you can just obtain this presentation from them. I think you should be able to see this application, right? If anybody is not able to see, you can just write in the chat that whether you are able to see or not. So I think all of you are able to see this application, right? This is actually a generic application meant for business analytics. It is free. You see here, this is actually the public URL, server address, and there are several provisions here. You have arrangements for descriptive analysis, predictive analytics, and exploratory analytics, something like that. There is contact details here. You can just contact me in case if you require any services related to this application. And there is another application which is meant for both business management as well as engineering grads, engineering faculty and as well as students. I have done a machine learning application, and this is useful for both teaching as well as practice. If you are a teacher, you can make use of this application to teach machine learning applications to your students. Today, machine learning is used in every domain of operations. There is no industry which is an exception for machine learning activities. You can, somebody called me, I think. So you can use, I don't know, server is down now, but it is available on online. This is free. Anybody can go to this link and make use of this application. You can use this application while teaching machine learning techniques in your respective subject. As I said, machine learning is used by marketers, finance domain, and HRM, and these applications are used in every subdomain of the business management as well as in engineering. So this application supports both supervisory and unsupervisory machine learning techniques. So you can make use of this tool to teach as well as to practice your work. And there is another application which I developed for fintech area, and this is blockchain and cryptocurrency. It is just called as BSEA-POS, meant for blockchain and cryptocurrency analysis. And I used R-Shiny. The presentation which you are seeing right now is actually developed through R programming language because I have to deliver my lecture using browser. That way, whenever I click a link, and that will be reopened in the browser, something like that. So I'm not using a PDF file format to deliver my lecture to you all. I developed this presentation by using, that is the power of R language. So you can even create very huge very gigantic firms like Google, Facebook, they're all using, even Microsoft has got one of the R distributions, one of the R development firms. Not now, a couple of years before actually, they spent some $1 trillion to buy that firm, and now they are using R, because the people ask me like, sir, this is open source and free, how reliable it is, and when Google is able to use R, then what is the problem for people like us? So this is actually, somebody raised the hand, and so let me, I don't know, this is actually, I'm not able to organize this. Soumya, I am not able to go to the place where I can
It's not
give
clarity.
you. Yeah. Yes, Soumya, please.
Sir, మీ వాయిస్ క్లారిటీగా లేదు సార్, వినిపించటం లేదు.
Is it the problem for all? Soumya is telling me that my voice is not clear. Is it the problem for all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, then I think there is a problem with the tool. I don't know. Do you listen to me? Do you all listen to me? Now, when I ask you the question, is it a problem to you all? You are saying yes, 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 which means that you are able to listen to me. Hello. I'm also muted. I must be muted. Hello. Do you all listen to me now? You can write in chat. If you are able to listen to me, I'm not. Yeah. Okay, I'm getting chat here. Now, you can write to me here. Do you all listen to me? Again, somebody opened. Please don't open your microphone. All of you keep muted. I mean, be on mute so that you will be able to listen to me. If you unmute, then you may not be able to listen to me. You can just write, I'll text a message. Do you all listen to me? If you are able to listen to me, please text me. Yes, otherwise I have to stop. Do you all listen to me? Okay, let me assume that you all listen to me, and let me go ahead. I'm not getting a response here. So be fine. Now these are some of the, I'm just talking about my applications. These are some of the applications which are meant for both academics as well as industry practitioners. And all of you can download. You can just go to these URLs and make use of these applications for your teaching. And now coming to this, topic, this is all about, the basic information about my profile. And feel free to contact me, or even for that matter, you can get in touch with the host, and they will provide all the information related to me. Now coming to the subject, impact of COVID-19 on economics. So what is this COVID-19? So this is, as I said, we are in a peculiar situation, unfavorable, intimidating, and also inevitable situation. We got to live with different times. We were all happy till last year, December. Not even, I think November, December. November or December, the pandemic was started in China. And now it is widespread all across the globe. So we started living by the virus. Now we are in a peculiar situation called COVID-19 pandemic. World is suffering from a particular disease called coronavirus disease. And 19 stands for 2019 because this virus, not the virus actually, this disease was discovered in China in November, December, not November, December, so well before. It was started somewhere under the 19. Now what is this coronavirus disease? COVID stands for coronavirus disease 19. So everybody else, I don't think none of you are aware of this phrase. By now, all of us are fully aware of this situation. A coronavirus disease 2019, which in short called as COVID-19, is an infectious disease. But there's nothing to be too much panic. It's not that deadly or highly infectious. It's highly infectious but not deadly. If you are really healthy and if your immune system is okay, then you're not going to be the sufferer. But COVID-19 is, patients who are very sensitive with, if they already have some health conditions, just like diabetes or cancer, or maybe some kind of hypertension, or maybe, any kind of health, existing health, they are already suffering with some health condition, then they may be able to suffer. The effect of COVID-19 will be much more serious. If you are a healthy person, if your immune system is okay, then anybody who is affected by coronavirus will get to, they will get back to normalcy within a 14 days period of time. But first 2-3 days, there will be a huge amount of, suffering because the coronavirus is going to impact your system, immune system. So coronavirus 2019, COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2. Actually, there are different versions of coronavirus. So no, this is not a super statement, and I'm not, I'm not telling this to you. I just gathered this information online. Just like anybody of you can get access to this information. This is all there online. I just gathered all this information from few of the online resources and made it as a composite presentation. That's all. There's nothing great about me. This is actually called SARS-CoV. So this coronavirus today, the present virus is actually referred as SARS-CoV, severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus version number 2. So what is this version? Whenever medics study a virus, they have a genome sequence. So these viruses, they tend to evolve. They evolve. I think I'm not able to guide this. Okay. So they tend to evolve over a period of time, and the gene of the virus tend to change, or as and when some changes occur in the weather and environment. So now, the coronavirus genome sequence, which medics are studying, is different from the virus which was affected in Wuhan, China, last year. So this virus is quickly adapting to the various. This is what is called evolution. In evolution, there is a particular topic called, gene adaptation, or just, species adaptation. So we species tend to adapt to the external environment based on different circumstances. So the virus is also, whenever it infects a particular species, let it be Homo sapien or maybe kind of birds or vertebrates or anything, any creature. Now, based on the immune system of that particular creature, they tend to adapt. The virus in one person, in a particular region, may not be the same with. That is what is revealed in some of the studies. The very first virus which was identified in Wuhan is significantly different from the virus which was identified in US. So now there is a lot of records over this particular issue. The US government is also blaming they are manufacturing the virus. Like, there is a technology called synthetic virus. Virus can be cultured in laboratory, and there is also a rumor that this virus was manufactured in one of the virology labs situated very near to the Wuhan. And there are all these things in a particular area of operations called genomics. And I'm also into a little bit of genomics. I'm not a full-fledged genomic expert. Now, this virus, version 2, or COVID-2, SARS-CoV-2, the SARS-CoV-2 is actually very near to cold, common cold kind of thing, because this virus, usually whenever you suffer from the cold, whenever anybody suffers from the cold, if somebody going near to them, immediately it attacks. There is nothing great. In the same fashion, if somebody is suffering from the coronavirus, and the other person approaches them, just like the cold, it affects. So this virus is not identical with the common. It is mostly identical with the common cold, but a bit different. It's highly infectious. Not that the cold is infectious, we are immune to cold. See, now what happened actually over the centuries, the cold is common everywhere. So when somebody is suffering from the cold and the other person comes in contact with that person, now since we are suffering from this virus, we started living with this common cold for centuries. We are not afraid of it. Now, we started afraid of it because this virus is a new virus and the symptoms of this virus are little severe compared to common cold. Even during the time of the common cold, there is a possibility of suffering from influenza, kind of, you have body pains. So we use antihistamines and everything, that is science. So what I'm trying to tell you is that there is nothing to panic about coronavirus. And there are people who are in criticism just because of talking like this, but it is science. Now but as such, nobody is suggesting that you have to, nobody is advised to get infected by this virus. We have to be very cautious, and at the same time, there is nothing to be too panicked. Most of the deaths that are happening by this coronavirus is due to either there are two reasons. Either they must be suffering from already some certain health condition, or they must be senile, which means overaged. People who are put on age can reach to a deadly condition, or people who are suffering from severe health problems. There is also a possibility that these people can reach to a deadly condition. But the people who are healthy and they have very good immunity to common cold can also recover from the coronavirus, something like this. So this coronavirus, whenever we talk about the coronavirus, you have to be cautious of this name SARS-CoV. Just like SARS-CoV, there are also a couple of other viruses. There is another virus called MERS-CoV. This is called Mediterranean, some kind of, I don't know. There is a name for it. MERS-CoV, SARS-CoV, MERS-CoV, and HCoV. There are three types of viruses. SARS-CoV is the COVID virus which we are suffering right now, and HCoV is the virus which we are suffering right now. We are getting infected by the human COVID virus, and this human COVID virus was an advanced version of the SARS-CoV. But why I mentioned MERS-CoV, few of the research papers indicated that the HCoV, human coronavirus, is 99.99% similar. The genomic sequence of this HCoV is 99.99% similar with SARS-CoV as well as MERS-CoV. Actually, I did a study earlier. I have a tool that is actually here. Here I think you should be able to see this name, EAPRS. It is a Gatters. It is there in my GitHub repository. It is free. Anybody can download this, and if you have, most of you belongs to economics or maybe business management, so this type of interest is very rare to see in a community like us. But there are people who are doing research on this genomic sequences, and if you are a programmer, there are celebrated econometricians who are into IT, and they do care and concern these type of scientific issues. And if you have any that type of peculiar interest, you can just go here to my GitHub repository, you can download this tool. And there is also I created a YouTube video. I think all of you must be able to see you should be able to see my YouTube video here. This is YouTube video. There are instructions as how to use this particular application, and you can use this application to analyze genomic sequences. That's very easy. You don't need to worry, sorry, why I should. Because sometimes what happens, we also have to see, actually today's topic is economics, but you see, I also have to talk about what is the virus, because the influence of COVID-19 on economics. So it is not possible for us to understand economics without understanding, because health is the part of economy. Just like supply and demand, and also exports and imports, public health is one of the important factors we have to study whenever we study about economics. Now you can, so I am trying to mention all these viruses just because we got to know about them. Okay. Now coming to the history of this virus, and there are many rumors that this virus was discovered in 2003, but I don't agree with this statement. There's a lot of research online. This virus is existing right from 8000 BCE. So it is there. There are different versions of coronavirus like alpha, beta, gamma, delta. The virus which was detected approximately circa 2800, 2400 is called alpha. Somewhere in 3000, 3300 BCE is referred to delta. And then what is the difference between all these viruses? It is all just a DNA, that's all. It's not actually DNA-based virus, it is RNA-based virus. That is why it is very quick in infecting the people. If it is DNA-based virus, there is a small RNA envelope, a membrane inside which there will be RNA base, and this RNA base RNA-based viruses are very susceptible, very sensitive, and we are very sensitive to RNA-based viruses because RNA of human gene is susceptible, more susceptible than DNA-based virus. We are more susceptible to RNA-based virus than DNA-based virus because RNA is much more advanced entity of human genome. So this is actually coronavirus is RNA based, it's not DNA based kind of thing. Anyway, you have all this information in I prefer NCBI. It is actually a repository where you have all those virus sequences. You can just go to this NCBI. You can type this in your browser. You'll acquire. There is an accession number. I have all this information here. If you go to here GATUS, you have all the information like what is the accession number. You need to have a number to identify a virus genome. So you can just download that genome, because I do all these analysis in my research, and you can. So this is all about the virus. So now that we know the severity of this virus, let us. And this virus was identified in December 2019 in Wuhan. Yes, I was correct. So I was trying to tell you that somewhere in November and December, this virus was detected in Wuhan, in a particular place called Dry Market, where it was exploded, and then infected. Became a pandemic all over the global pandemic. This virus traveled all the way from China to. I don't know actually. This is I suspect this statement, but there are evidences. There's a lot of research behind this particular statement. Can somebody mute? Please mute all of you. So it was detected in Wuhan. This is all old information, you all know. Now let us go ahead. Now there's a little more information about this coronavirus. The first case in India was, in the world was detected in 17 November 2019, that was I think in China. As of 6 June 2020, more than 6.75 million cases have been, this is actually outdated. This is the information until yesterday, okay? And today I don't know, maybe a couple of hundreds of infections might have been added to the existing database. So until yesterday, there were 6.75 million cases and reported across 188 countries and territories, resulting in more than 395,000 deaths, and more than 2.76 million people have been recovered. See, for an infection rate of 6.75 million and a recovery of 2.76, I don't think that is a fair number, right? It is almost, maybe less than 50% of the infection, right? Will go for a number of 6.75. The 50% of the 50% goes down to 4 approximately, 3.5, and 2.7 is actually below average, you can say. So that is not a good recovery. But anyway, I suspect those numbers, not that I collected it, but I'm not creating these numbers actually. I'm not the inventor of this number. I gathered all this information somewhere, just like you and others. Now, what are the symptoms of this coronavirus? So this is, no, by the way, I'm not talking about, now I'm just going slowly. I'm just paving a base for our, discussion. So don't feel that, I'm just going ahead, on and on, talking about coronavirus. I'm just trying to see that there will be a proper base for my, no, I'll go back to the data analysis. I'll get into data analysis. I'll take you to analysis. I'll show you how to do the analysis on some of the data sets. Now, coming to the symptoms, and this is just like, some of the symptoms are related to the common cold, just like fever, like, timid fever, cough, and two participants raise their hands. Okay, now you can unmute and talk to me, please. Yeah, unmute. I unmuted. I'm not able to unmute. Can you please write to me through chat? I am not able to unmute you. I am sorry. Sunil Kumar and Sunil Ponguru. I am not able to unmute you. I think you will have I don't have the permission from the host to unmute you. Is it, if it is the problem of, voice, I am helpless. My settings are correct, and you have to check your own settings. So a couple of people also complained me that they are not able to listen to me. That is not my problem actually. I have all settings properly. When all the settings are proper in my side, and you have to check. Now coming to these symptoms, and you have when people who are infected by the coronavirus have likeliness, they're prone to fever, cough, fatigue, short breath, and they also suffer from some swelling in this tonsils, and they have a dry throat kind of thing, and they develop kind of difficulty in breathing air and all. There's a lot with this information is there online, and you can just you can obtain this information and read what are the different symptoms of coronavirus, because I just have to talk about this because it is my responsibility to talk about COVID-19. I'm handling a topic, impact of COVID-19 on economics. Now I'm going to the economics. Now these are some of the tools related to my analysis on COVID-19 or coronavirus. You can just, this will be there. I'll make this presentation available from the host. You can just approach them and you can use this information for your research, maybe kind of. Now coming to the most awaited topic, that is economy or economics. Okay, I'm not an economist and I'm not into economics, but I taught economics several times. Okay, I got a blockbuster definition for economy. It's not, I'm just trying to make the fun. I didn't manufacture this statement, I just collected the statement from some Google resources. The state of a country or region in terms of the production and consumption of goods and services and the supply of money. So economics, if you ask me like what do you mean economics, I just simply say economics is equal to demand plus supply and plus consumers, something like that. The supply, demand is consumer side, supply is from manufacturer and producer side. So economy is all about collection of producers and consumers. We have manufacturers, producers. Every time you don't have the manufacturer, we have service industry where nothing is manufactured, but something is offered. So you have service providers, and commonly we have producers, we have consumers. And now the place where these two people come and meet, and they involve in some transactions, then economics takes place. So now the real interest of the economics endows importance exactly in a particular situation where there's a lot of demand but less supply. So this is actually a peculiar situation where economics come into the picture. Now suppose if you have, imagine that Indian economy has got sufficient resources, it is not going to happen. Given a country has full-fledged resources and the country population is able to has access to all those resources, then there is no point of economics. The country don't need to worry about economics. The economics is going to be a weird idea in that country. Now, if there are resources which are short, not sufficient enough to fulfill the needs of the public, or from the demand side, then we need to talk about economics. Now, the country or firm, or maybe in minuscule level, an individual organization. So we have, in micro level, I have economics, like I have my income, and I have my purchase ability, and there are goods and services outside. Now, there must be a strategy. Suppose my needs are overwhelming, and the resources are not, my income is not able to support, I don't have sufficient purchasing ability or purchase ability to afford for some goods and services, then comes the picture of economics. So till then, the idea of economics is not at all necessary. So a country, just like, a country like Ethiopia, or maybe some of the few countries which appear to be poor, they are not poor actually. They have verdant natural resources. They have wonderful natural base, but the people don't know how to make use of those resources. Now, the strategy which can make use of those resources for the fulfillment of the needs and wants of the public is what is the area of economics. So now you have the demand and supply, we have resources, we have needs, and the needs comes through the demand of the consumers, and there are availability of resources. If the value of the resources is lesser than the demands of the individuals, then the inflation rises. Like you have X number of units of currency with you, and you have X, Y units of productive products. Now your value of Y, X decreases, and the value of Y increases. So this is what is actually the nature of the economy, where some of the, see, some people, few people are raising your hands, but unfortunately I'm not able to unmute you. I think one person, Mallikarjun Rao, I think you are unmuted. You can talk to me. I'm also unmuting another person, but I'm not able to do that. So, or you can just chat with me. I'm not able to access the chat here. When yeah, okay, I have chat. Yeah, you can chat me. I don't know. I think if you don't have chat facility, but unfortunately I cannot. No, here my mouse is not able to take me to the. Yeah, okay. Now chat is coming. Participants. Okay, again it has comment. I don't know this. Zoom is not, by the way, Zoom is not a good tool. There's a lot of criticism of Zoom. That is why we provide a different, we have a couple of open source tools for corporate sector. We provide a lot of software development actually, but we use open source tools, not the Zoom or WebEx. I don't know, see, it is not going down. Now I got a window, but in drop down menu, but it's not going down, going off. Okay, what should I do? Yeah. Okay. No. So if you have any problems, I am extremely sorry. I'm not able to earmark time for your questions. Maybe you can wait until the end of the lecture, and then you can come back to me and ask the questions. I'm just trying to explain you what is the economy. See, all of you are faculty members. You're all mature. No, I'm not. Please don't think that I'm undermining you. You all know what are economics, and you must have taught economics a couple of times to your students. But I need to talk about this because I have to have a base for my discussion. Now, I hope all of you. So I discussed about coronavirus first, COVID-19. Now I'm talking about economics. Now let me go ahead and. Okay, this is another super familiar statement. Like how do we? Yeah, there is an approach called market-based economy. Like here, the definition goes a bit differently. A market-based economy is one where goods and services are produced and exchanged according to demand and supply between participants. So these are called agents, maybe government and public, or maybe firm and consumers. So barter, not through barter. So that's era of barter has gone. Maybe soon after, I don't know. Maybe in future we may end up in times where barter may take place. I don't know. So by barter or a medium of exchange, most probably through currency, with a credit and debit value accepted within the network, such as unit of currency, as I said. So we need currency. So we have currency, supply, demand. So this is actually the area of triangle where economy. So we need economics in order to make a strategy to see that flow of goods and services meets the needs and wants of the public. So that is what is the idea of economics. So we are going to see some of the variables associated with the economy, and we are also going to see how to do the analysis related to that data. Okay, let me go ahead. Now, so what is the impact of COVID-19? So first I spoke about coronavirus, COVID-19. Next I spoke about the economy. Now I am trying to talk about what does it mean impact? What do we mean impact? When we talk about impact, somewhere there must be kind of dependency. You see, it is not possible to impact some X on Y unless Y depends on X kind of thing. There must be some dependability relationship between coronavirus and economy or economies or economics of the country. Otherwise, it is not possible for us to answer the. Now, what does it mean impact? So impact, I mean, is any momentum which affect the consumption, there is a spelling mistake here, consumption and disinvestment towards the end of, till the end of 2019 quarter 3, actually, our economy was rising. So it was like upward, ticking upward, and then all of a sudden in quarter 4 2019, there was this pandemic, and now the economy slowly started declining. So just like this. So it went up and then slowly started, which means that COVID has some certain impact, and the impact of the COVID-19 is significant. So when the economy is going like this, our GDP is going like this, or maybe income, GDP, whatever it is, national income, national gross domestic product, when it's going upwards, and suddenly there is a pandemic here, and then it is going down, that means COVID has impact on economy. But the problem is how to measure. Okay, there are a load of documents online. They're just like, I felt a lot of haphazardness. They're all haphazard, like, the COVID-19 impacted this, COVID-19 impacted that, and COVID-19 impacted supply, demand, kind of GDP, income, kind of. But the problem is there is, for that matter, actually, the academics started writing a lot of, research articles. I don't know where from they get this data. They simply started writing, when I have to talk about this, articles, writing articles and papers, I don't know, this is actually a kind of, there is a lot of, people are maniac, actually I thought of writing a paper like, where do these people get data? They will simply write papers without seeing the veracity of data and the quality of data, source of the data. I mean, today the problem is, yes, everybody talk about the impact of COVID-19 on economics of the country, but how? How are we going to assess that? That is where data analytics comes into the picture, like where we have to take help from the data science and analytics, because we are trying to measure two different constructs which have dependency that are not apparent, which it is not possible for us to see a palpable relationship, but there is some kind of activity happening in between these two constructs. The COVID has got impact on economy, but when we state this statement, we need to have some certain evidence, kind of like how do you prove? Where is the evidence that you are going to? So there's a lot of data online, but unfortunately, that is not strictly structured. I'm going to show you how to grab the data from unstructured sources. We still have a lot of time, don't worry. Now, Indian economy has begun to regain momentum with clear signs of uptick, and it is consumption, I don't know, kind of towards the end of quarter 3 in 2019, and after COVID-19, the economy started falling down. Most importantly, there are 3 indices. I mean, index of industrial production, index of core industries, and exports and imports. Because these are industrial production, and I think I forgot to bring up the agriculture here. Even agriculture is badly hit by, very badly hit by this COVID-19. You have been observing what is happening to some of the, not some of the, almost all farmers across the country, and they are not able to, they are throwing their produce on streets. And we know what happened to tomato cultivation and some certain, especially vegetables, today became so dear. We are not able to go outside and buy. I mean, to some extent, they're all very cheap. Somewhere after immediately infection, the prices were drastically down, and again they rised, and again they got down. But there was a lot of unrest in the market from both demand as well as supply side. We are not. I'm something wrong. I'm sure something wrong. So we are not comfortable with markets. Now, this is actually how we can study. We can pick up some of the variables, especially the variables such as industrial production, agricultural data, and some kind of exports imports, and then take the coronavirus. We have one constructs this side, the other construct this side, and then we try to find the association or maybe dependability, something like that. Now, Yeah, when we talk about this, I think this slide should come first and then that. Actually, there are different phases of this impact. The government of India actually tried to decrease the impact of corona on industry and Nirmala Sitharaman. Uh, excuse me. Please mute all of you. The government of India had been introducing time to time SOPs to different people in different sectors as how to get across this particular impact of COVID-19 on the industry. So there are different phases here. Actually we have a famous word lockdown. So phase one was lockdown. There are 5 different phases of lockdown. So first phase was for 21 days in March and 19 days in April and 14 days in May and 14 days, each of 14 days in May. One for 4 to 17 and the other lockdown is 18 to 31, and still in phase 5 we are still going on and expected to be seized by 30 June 2020. Actually it is not 2020. We are in phase 5 and the government is offering some SOPs, but nobody knows the impact of those SOPs on industry as well as normal public. There's a lot of criticism on this particular topic. This is the remedial action from the government of India in order to attenuate, to make impact less vigorous. But we just have to wait and see how this is really going to help the public as well as government to recuperate from the present situation. Now, okay, data. Now we are entering into the data analytics. Till now, I spoke about what is COVID-19. I hope all of you might have understood what is coronavirus, and I think I spoke much more than what is required in this presentation because I was talking about genealogy of coronavirus. It has ancestors. Okay, first it was detected in chickens in 1930, and later in mouse in 1940. I think in 1960 it was detected in humans, and 1965 there was evidence, and scientists came up with an evidence that yes, coronavirus can be infected. I mean, human infection is possible. The virus can make humans as host for its survival. So 1965 scientists found, I also have their names with me, like the history, genealogy, and more interestingly, this coronavirus has got kind of family, order, and also realm. Just like you and me belongs to a family, we have an order, we have realm of living, right? We have an ecosystem that's called realm. So coronavirus has got family, order, realm, a lot of things. So first I spoke about coronavirus and its severity, its symptoms, and kind of genomics and genealogy. Later I spoke about economics, not much, because it is very difficult to talk about economics. Anyway, we are just going ahead and seeing. I'm going to show you some of the variables which we need to consider for the analysis. Now, the analysis starts from data. Okay, I'm entering into the third part of my topic, that is analysis. How to perform the analysis on available data sets. Now, when I talk about analysis, we need 2 important requirements. That is number 1, methodology. Number 2, most essential thing, data. So we look at this data. That is the most important. Okay, fine, we have a lot of data related to corona. I mean, you can just go online and search for, how many number of cases infected, number of deaths, and number of recovery, number of individuals, state-wise, date-wise. You got a lot of data. You don't need to go to any costly. You don't need to buy the data. Data is there everywhere today. But the problem is how to. Once you have some data with you, how can you make it convenient for your analysis is what is the question. So the question is how to make data operable or amenable for analysis. So what is the kind of data that we have in our hand, and how are we going to use that data to perform analysis, and why do we do analysis? That is the question. We do analysis in order to get the insights and evaluate a particular situation. Now, the problem right now for this particular, the problem is for this lecture. The problem is how to assess the impact of coronavirus over economics of the country. So that's very difficult. So I was there online continuously for the past 2 days. So that is actually the advantage of having a teacher. So who goes, they do some work and for the benefit of the students and kind of. Now when I talk about the data, there are two types of, I want to talk about the two different categories of data. Now there is a possibility to perform the analysis on international level data and domestic level data. So we have corona infection in India. India is one of the gigantic economies of the world, maybe fourth kind of US, UK, Japan, China, Japan, and China, India kind of. But mostly with US, China, and India. That's actually a habit of talking in economics. We are just running behind China, and I don't think we're going to surpass China at any near future unless we start with production. We can just simply talk in, hey, okay, we are doing services, they are doing manufacturing. But manufacturing is the base, right? We need to have something to eat. Now, when we come to the data, there are two types of data: international and Indian level data, domestic data. If you want to get the data, I'm talking about data. I'm slowly getting into the analysis. And suppose if you want to perform analysis, you need to have data and right methodology. And to gather the data, you need to find the right source. Okay, there is a lot of data online, but suppose when you are doing analysis, it is quite common to ask the question, what is the source of the data, right? So because the quality of the data depends on the source of the data. When you, in social sciences, many times we collect data from surveys. The quality of the data depends on the nature of the survey respondent, right? Suppose if you are studying adults, you can't get data from children. If you are studying a non-living object, you can't get data from living object. So you need to have a precisely defined source of information. So when we talk about this data, especially on international level, there are two types of sources. So immediately you can just take it granted for WB. What do you mean WB? World Bank. So this, you can just go to World Bank. Can you please mute all of you? I'm not able to move my camera. It became a big trouble to me. It has occupied some certain place on my. Yeah, can you? Okay, I'm just going to mute all of you. Okay, now I think somebody raised hands, but I'm extremely sorry. We do have question and answer session. We'll come back to you. Okay, please be patient. And if it is a problem related to technology, I'm sorry. I'm not able to, I can't help you. Now, there are two very important sources of data for international level affairs. There is a WB. Now I have a link for you. When you click on this link, it will try straight away. You don't need to click on this link. You can just straight away go to the World Bank. You see here worldbank.org, data catalog. So let us spend very little time, like a couple of minutes. What is this World Bank and where do we get data? You see you have time series data. This is actually a database for time series data. There is a database for microdata, geospatial data. That's actually very interesting. Geospatial. I have an application for analyzing geospatial data sets. And now, okay, fine. Now suppose if you come here and search all worlds, now you can search India. Now you see you'll get India. And then when you press this button, then it will redirect you to a particular section. I think oh my God, my battery is going down. Oh. Okay, now, so this is how it happens. Like you can just go here for a particular section. It will take you to India. You can also have, you see here today, right now I am into a topic called COVID-19. So in World Bank, you've got a section COVID-19 data. So you don't need to worry. You can straight away go here and press this button so that By the way, can I ask you permission to connect my laptop with power source? I'm asking host. Host, can you respond to my question? Because my battery is getting down. If I don't connect to power source, I will not be able to continue this, data analysis section. Hello. Can I, to connect to power source, I have to, data connection, I have to be off from the data connection. So all of you just keep waiting for me. I'll just come back. I'll connect to my power source, because otherwise I'm afraid I may have to. Just going to, where is my browser? Installing coronaviruses. Okay, welcome back. So I'm extremely sorry that there was, so if I have not switched it off, I would have, it was not possible for me to connect back to this. I don't know why I'm not able. So I'm extremely sorry for disconnecting, because I have to keep my laptop running on power. And welcome back. So I'm talking about this data sources to perform the data analysis. Now let me go back to this. Is what is the slide which I was talking to you. So there are two data sources for international impact. I mean, suppose if you want to perform some analysis from international level, then you can go to World Bank portal. There is a particular subsection called data catalog, worldbank.org. There you have, I'm just talking about how to obtain the information related to COVID-19, coronavirus. Now, when you click on this, you see you have a section. Now, it is not, let me reload this. I don't know, where should I, yeah. So let us spend a couple of minutes here as what type of data we have in order to understand COVID-19 at international scale or international level. Okay. Now you see here, there are, when you go to the COVID-19 section, this is understanding coronavirus, COVID-19 pandemic data, something. There are three links here. See, you'll find one commodity markets, the other one remittances, relevant global poverty. Now, you don't need to, I mean, this commodity markets is sufficient in order to assess the impact of coronavirus on economics. And the data is provided. When you click on this, actually you don't need to click on this. If you click, it will redirect you at a separate tab, but you have all the sections down bottom here. See here, if you go down, you have a particular section called, commodity. Where do I have this? Where the coronavirus related data sets, map of the world's, you'll simply come back to, you see here, okay, let me click on this, commodity markets, you see, you'll go down. So you're going to go, coronavirus related commodity markets. You will get all the data related to this market level data alongside coronavirus data. Where do you have that coronavirus data? See here, coronavirus COVID-19 related data sets. Why I'm talking this? Because many of us, we are academics, we would like to write the articles or papers. So we just don't like papers, we don't write papers just like that. We need to have kind of questions. There will be a methodology, there are questions, there are objectives. So the researcher needs to provide some certain evidence. So evidence-based research is very, very important in academics. I'm happy to talk this, that many of academics, they are not very much conscious of evidence-based research. They just take it granted to write any rubbish. Most of the research is rubbish, and let me not talk about that. And I'm not very much happy with what is. And people just write articles and come back and talk all nonsense kind of thing. But I know what kind of. I'm into data science. I evaluate everything based on evidence. There is a section of research where evidence is not required. There are situations where things are evident, we don't need to. But in academics, if you are a scholar, you want to produce a kind of quality research, you need to have some certain evidence-based effort. Please have some kind of analysis. Now, coronavirus datasets. Now click on this. Okay, you go to. I don't know if you are able to see all my tabs or not. I'm just going from one tab to the other tab. Now, see here you have all the. You see here you have the data sets. If you press on data sets, again you got kind of. Really, I'm not going to use these data sets because I don't like to do analysis, international level analysis kind of thing. That's too much for me for these 2 hours. Now I just wanted to show you where do you get corona related data sets, and then you have this commodity markets. You see what I'm talking? Now, okay, let's go ahead with corona. Let me see if at all I can. Now let's say, for example, if I click on this maybe datasets, I don't know. Let me think. I should be having some kind of. Okay, can I go for India? I don't know. You have some things here. You can just go here and search for a particular kind of. Can I go for India here? Yeah. You got India subsection. But anyway, I don't like to waste my time. If I spend my time on this, and I have all these data sets with me, already I downloaded everything, but I'm just telling you how to go to different places and find your data sets. You can press on India, something like that, and there are 10 entries related to India, and now it is going on. It is swelling, and after some time you'll see these are all India-based data sets. Kind of. Now, suppose let's say the COVID-19, shall we go for health, nutrition, population statistics? Okay. So when I go to this section, now it may be possible for us to identify the data sets. And these data, see here, there is a lot of information. You have data resources section, you have data bank, so bulk download file, Excel file is there, you can just download that. I don't know if I never tried, but I got, because that is not what I'm going to concentrate on this section and this particular talk. You have CSV file as well as Excel file. I think you know the difference between Excel versus CSV. In data science, CSV, especially if you are an R programmer just like me. And so this is actually the section where you will find the data sets. You can just download them and keep them in your computer so that you will be able to, I'm just going to close everything. Now let me go back to my presentation. This is WB, World Bank. You can even do in this way. Suppose if you have World Bank, I think bank.org, it should be org, I think. Maybe data, I don't know, /country, shall I say India? I don't know, I'm just trying. It is also possible to go in this way, data, country, I don't know exactly, but yeah, 404 response error. Okay, no problem, doesn't matter, don't know. So somewhere you have data, where you can go to India or something like that, okay? But anyway, I really go behind the software. It's going on here. Bank data, and here you have the COVID-19. Then when you press here, it will take you directly to the same section which we were looking at. So anyway, this is, you're not a kid and I am not a school teacher. I don't need to tell you all this mechanics, and many of you are, please let me, I don't know, something is not going well with my computer. Okay, fine. So let us go back and let's see IMF. I like this IMF compared to WB. Why? Because in WB, the data is available only 2018. So now the problem is, how is it possible for us to analyze data sets? Now the COVID-19 pandemic started in December 2019, right? But whereas the data available from World Bank is data is available until 2018 in World Bank, which is not possible for you. There is one chance, so you can download the data and use some kind of time series analysis, extrapolate it, so that you will get But I don't think that is a good way of performing analysis. But many people do that. The problem in extrapolation or maybe forecasted values, performing analysis and forecasted values never use good results. Why? Because the actual data, there is an kind of element called error. Error is something, a difference between the actual values to the forecasted values. So actually, whenever you perform time series analysis, the researcher or statistician need to show the error, level of error we call SSE. When there is an error attributed to the difference between the original data and forecasted data. So performing analysis on such erratic element, having such elements represented by error is not always advisable. So my suggestion is just to try to identify the actual data instead of depending on many papers. You will see this. Many academics, they try to write the papers based on forecasted data, but you can do that, but you have to prove that there is very less or negligent amount of error between the actual values and the forecasted values, something like that. Okay, without wasting much time, let me go to the second. I like this, not to the fuller extent. I like this link because it was till 2020. But so let me open this. I'll close all World Bank kind of thing. Now you see here you have IMF, and somewhere you should be having, you see here COVID-19. This is actually GDP of the country data. I think India, yes, correct, India. You see countries, India. So now you get the Indian specific information through this IMF, International Monetary Fund or something like that. I don't want this. Yeah, of course. I don't care. Now you got the GDP of why. So I didn't talk to you actually. Whenever you perform whenever you think of performing analysis between COVID-19 impact on academics, now it is your duty to define what is economy. So we need to take few of the variables which represents economy. We need to take few of the variables which represents COVID-19 or coronavirus pandemic. Now, whatever analysis that we perform is just trying to identify the associations or maybe kind of dependency relationships between these two sets of variables. You have variable set which represents corona, disease, and you have a set of variables which represents economy of global economy or Indian economy, whatever it is. Now, right now, I am showing you a particular portal where you have the data related to India economy. Here you see here, I mean, when you go to the bottom of the graph, you have 2020, something like that. Now, the problem is, how shall we go? I mean, let me see here. I think I have to, I have to press on this arrow so that, so now there is a dashboard. So when you press on this, the bottom of the graph, when you press on this arrow button, rightward arrow, now it will take you to a separate tab, and in there you have a dashboard where you can obtain the data sets. So you see bottom of the dashboard you have Excel file and also image kind of thing and all everything. You can download all the data. By the way, I have all this data in my computer. I don't need to do this once again. I will show you where my data is and how to. Now I will suggest you to go for all data. This all data is a CSV file in which you have all countries' data kind of thing. So you can just go to a particular country and take the data row, find the summaries, take those summaries into your data analysis tool, whatever it is. You can do the analysis in Excel, maybe a spreadsheet application. You can also do the analysis in programming language like that. I'm going to show you how to do the analysis in our programming language, because I feel rather more convenient to do that. So this is actually the place where you will find much convenient data for your data analysis. So see that you see here, if I press it is actually 2020. I think this is actually you see here the dotted line. This is 2000. This is 2021. So we have data till 2021. Till 2020, this is real data, and the data between this 2020 and 21, this is actually forecasted data. Okay. Now here, suppose if you want to find out, so I want let me see what happens if I cancel India. If I cancel India, you see the dashboard reset, and then you have a couple of variables. Now there are different, I think this is world level information, and there are advanced economies and developing economies. There is a comparison kind of thing. Now, fine, we are not going to take a screenshot and use this in our articles or papers. We have to perform analysis and create this kind of image, right? So if you are a researcher, you don't take this screenshot, you don't copy this, you don't carry this screenshot into your article, your paper. You need to create this, don't ask me the question like, why do we need to create it all? You have to create it, okay? So if I am evaluator, if I am reviewing your paper, I'm sure if you have this screenshot, I'll reject your paper. So if you want your paper to be accepted, you need to be genuine and honest in providing analysis. Now, how do you do analysis? You need to have the data. Now, where do you have the data? You have the Excel file here, all countries data and selected data, which means Indian specific data. If you can download Indian data, GDP, GNI, or health, or whatever it is, you can also download the all country. This is actually, so now going back to my presentation, I prefer IMF compared to WB because IMF is little bit updated, provides little bit updated information compared to WB. So I suggest you to go to IMF rather than WB to obtain your data sets. Now this is all about data sources, international level. So if you would like to perform some analysis at international level and you need to obtain data, and now the problem is COVID started in December 2019, but the data is available till 2019. In December, how do you do the analysis? No, you can't do that. So if you send your article or maybe a paper to some review, I'm sure your paper will get rejected for inconsistency in research methods. We need to have suitable data. Having said that, don't depend on forecasted. We are going to perform the forecasting. That is a different thing. But try to avoid most of the time, forecasting data, unless you are comparing one data series with other data series. So I may be confusing you, but you will get clarity one. Let's go ahead, and I will be talking on and on about the same slide till the end of the day. And Now this is the data related to India. Let me take, yeah. This is the data related to India, and where do you get the data? Okay, let me show you two interesting, not two actually, three interesting places to obtain your data. The first one is Department of Economic Affairs. I am talking about data sources, okay? I need to take up the discussion about we are close to 11:30. Excuse me. So we still have 30 minutes time, and I'm going back and I'll show you how to perform the analysis in our programming language. Now this is data related to India. You have Department of Economic Affairs. Now when I click on this, you got a beautiful portal where you've got some sufficient amount of data. Now you see till April, you'll get data here. So India, we don't have problem. But as far as international, if you want to perform the analysis related to international level, you have problem. But if you obviously you have to do. Suppose if you are writing an article, you have to incorporate both of the analysis. One section for international impact and one section for the Indian impact. So impact of COVID-19 within India or something like that. You will be contrasting this. Two sections and providing your insights as in the form of conclusion or something like that. If you are a practitioner, then please be cautious of the quality of the nature of the data source. You need to be, you can just bring the data from every resource and say that I got this data from this Tom, Dick, Harry, I got this data from ABC resource, and no, you need to have some authenticated source. If you don't have the authenticated source, I'm sure your paper will bog down. And it attracts very bad review kind of thing. Now, so I'm trying to talk about how to obtain the data sets for Indian scenario. And now you see when you press on this link, Department of Economic Affairs, there are monthly economic reports. Now you got a report for April, report for. Now when you click on this view, you will get a PDF file in which you got a beautiful narration of impact of COVID-19 on Indian economy. Now you see there's a beautiful, I like a particular paragraph here somewhere I was trying to take up little information from this thing here. As the lockdown continued, manufacturing and services activity came to a standstill in April 2020. You see? April 2020. In April 2020, the economy came to a standstill because of the lockdown. But at the same time, lockdown is a blessing in disguise, resulting in supply side disruptions and demand failing to unprecedented, blah, 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 blah. You can just read. And I just want to show. Agriculture and allied activities, however, showed continued resilience on back, something like that. I don't think we'll be able to write this kind of report with all our data analysis. However, that is not required for a research article. So a research article will be having a definite methodology with questions, with somebody asking a question, a bullshit question. And recently I happened to talk to he has some 20, 30 years of experience, and he asked me a question, why did you do this analysis in your paper? I was shocked. That is not the objective. I didn't do that because that is not my objective. I have a methodology, I have questions, I have a hypothesis. All I need to do is to answer my questions. So please try to have questions translated into objectives, and then you have some certain literature backing your questions. When you ask a question, that should come from the educated guess. Obviously, we're all educated, and we should use our education in asking the questions. We can't ask bullshit questions. So in every research we have questions, we have objectives, we have a consistent methodology. I am not supposed to ask the questions. Question about the questions. I can ask questions related to methodology. I can ask why did you do this analysis? This is not, you cannot take this analysis for this question. That is valid, okay? I can't ask a question about the questions. Why did you question like this? No, that is how I want to question. So there are people in industry, especially in academics, I salute them. Please don't ask that type of questions. Don't ask questions about questions, okay? They have questions, they have objectives. Let them answer their questions. So ISO or any other quality agencies, like we have MBA, we have we have a new quality agencies like NIRF. They don't ask questions. They ask, how do you question? You frame your own questions. You answer your own questions. That is actually the scientific methodology. So they are not. They don't come here and keep on ask questions, because they ask what is your ability, prove your ability. So this is my ability. These are my questions. These are my objectives. This is my methodology. Okay, let me show you how to prove my question. How I am going to provide answers to my question. That is what is called research. There are very good individuals in academics. I'm unfortunately in academics, and they ask questions about questions as a researcher, and please don't do that, okay? And don't take or harass the individuals. Please don't do that. And they have 30, 40 years of experience. I'm sorry to talk like this, and sometimes I have 22 years of teaching experience, but I am one of the. Okay, now you see we have a beautiful report. Now the problem is, you come here, you got all academic indices. Like you have global academic activity, you have JP Morgan Global Composite PMI, global fuel prices, global base metal prices, something like that. They are commodities. You have fuel, you have metal, and now you see here you have some months. There is January 2020. You see this is not December. And there is February 2020, March 2020, and April 2020. Now the problem is, how are you going to take this data to your? So one very important, easiest thing is just to copy this, okay? And okay, if you have an operating system just like me, I mean I have Ubuntu. I'm using Ubuntu Linux for this webinar. You may be having Windows. And if you have Windows, you may be having a spreadsheet application in your operating system. Just open the spreadsheet application, copy the names and all. That is the. But the problem is, if there are 4 or 5 records just like this, it is easy, right? You can just copy all these months. I can just, let me show you this. Copy these names and go back to. I think I'll stop sharing this. I'm not able to stop this. Okay, screen share. Now I'm going to, where is my R programming language? Oh my God. RStudio, yes. You see, this is actually RStudio. I have my presentation. I don't know. I think all of you must be able to see my RStudio. I use R programming language for data analysis. Now, if you have a programming, by the way, you can use spreadsheets. There is no, it is not compulsory. Now, I'm not telling you that you should use Python or R programming language for, if you have a passion for a programming language, just like R, Python, Pig or Hive, something like that. Now you can just write here, what is the name of that thing, microeconomic indicators, MEI, left assignment operator, and then you have a particular read delimit. Sure, it's yes, I think. I think I pressed numlock, I don't know. Wait, delimit, I think. Read dot delimit. Yeah, delimit. Now, when double quotes, CLI clipboard. You see? Now, oh, incompatible. Yeah, it's not possible. Clipboard is incomplete final line found by the. So let me, because yeah, of course, it's not possible because they're all. So I can do one thing, MEI. So you may not be able to. Better you go to the spreadsheets and now see this is combine operator. Now, by the way, our programming language is Zoom is ready. What does it mean? Zoom is ready. Hello. Okay. So if you have, I'm just going to use a small technique in, this is actually RStudio, which is an IDE for our programming language, the backend. There are 4 panes. The left top pane is for scripts. The presentation which I'm using for this talk is situated in the left top corner of this editor. You see here, this is actually the presentation. I compiled this script file so as to get my presentation. Anyway, that is not important for you. And now the bottom corner, left bottom, you have the console. This is called R console. And the right bottom, you have viewer. And the right upper pane is actually the history, something like that. Now I'm just going to use a small technique like February. I'm creating a vector of months. You see? So I have January underscore 20, February, which I copied from the same PDF file. Now I have other technique I'll show you, okay? But for time, this is the easiest way. Okay, now you got MEI names, microeconomic indices names. I call this vector as names. Press enter. Underscore names. So there is something wrong with John underscore name. What is the problem? Okay, let me take 20, 20, 20. No, I can't take out this. I think I should have underscore only. It is not possible. That is unscientific term. Comma, January 20, February 20, March 20, April 20. Is there any mistake in my approach? Object Jan 20 not found. Okay. Jan 20. Okay. I did a mistake actually. I don't know why I'm going to the profile. Okay, now the problem is this is actually not an object, this is a character. So this is, I have to, if it is a name or a word, I have to enclose them in inverted commas. You see now, I is silent. I make clear, control arrow, I just clear. MEI, I got names. Okay, let's see. You see, I got names. Now let me go back, pick up the values. Here I'll take the composite PMI. Okay, you see, in the PDF file, I have numbers, and all those numbers are where I have names of the months, I have the numbers. Now I'm going to copy the numbers, okay, copy them, come back to R. You may not be able to see my PDF file because I shared R. Right now, R is under share. The PDF file is not, you may not be able to see the PDF file. Now I say MEI values. Now see, here I have to, I think 52.2, yes, correct. Here I have to put comma. I'm just trying to create a vector of values, that's all, nothing else. Yes. Now many people think that it is very difficult. Now I have MEI values. Now I'm just going to, I have two vectors now. I'm going to create a data set. I call MEI, that's all. Now, data frame, cbind, just don't care, okay? If you are not able to follow my lecture, if you are not able to understand, just don't care. You need to have some knowledge about fundamentals of R programming language. So what I'm trying to do is, I'm obtaining data from a PDF file and then creating data set in R. Like you do in spreadsheet. You copy them in cells, another cells, keep them side by side. One variable names, another variable for values. Same thing I'm trying to do in R programming language. Cbind, MEI names. Shall I say names? Yeah, names and MEI values. Now MEI. Come on, my keyboard. So now you see you got the data set, right? That's it. You got the data set. Now this data set is what is required for the analysis. You can perform, the analysis on data set which is till December 2019 and some data set from January to April. No, that is not correct. You have to have perfect data for perfect analysis, for perfect insights. If you want to ensure perfection in your research, then you have to ensure that you must have the right data set with you. Now my microeconomic indices is over. Now how to get coronavirus data. Okay, we got a lot of data on corona. I have data inside my computer. I am going to share my microeconomic indices are, let us think that this is economic data. Okay, for time being, let us think that this is some index by PMI, which is Purchase Managers Index. I don't know, in economics, PMI is very valid term. There are a lot of online portals which pull data from purchase managers of different regions in the world. Kind of, they have a lot of. You need to know what is PMI. This is PMI data, which represents the global economy. Okay, now let us take the data, coronavirus data. Now I'm going to stop sharing. I share my file browser. Okay. Now I say I'm inside the file browser. Here, do I have coronavirus? Yeah, here I think time series COVID-19 confirmed global cases. Now I have global economic information. I have global coronavirus information. Where did I get this? This I got from some source like IMF. You can get it from some other. This is actually .csv file. You can just press enter, and then by the way, the procedure is same irrespective of the operating system. I am using Linux operating system. You may be using Windows. It doesn't matter. As long as there is R programming language in your computer, you can just make use of this. Yeah, this is CSV file, and I'm just going to open this using a spreadsheet application inside my operating system, which is known as Calci. Okay, now you see this is country level information. Okay, this is country level information. Now what I do, I already created I need to have the country level coronavirus, but unfortunately I have the Indian level virus. This is actually, you see here I have the formula in my spreadsheet, sum of, where is that sum? Oh my God. So I lost the sum. This is actually, you see, the coronavirus infection against date. You see here, this is January. So long you have 1, it is January, and you have 2 here. This is February. The data for February. See, from here you have February, and then you have March, April, something like that. So I created a summary table. Here you see, this is a summary table, right? Now what I am going to do, in our RStudio, we have data till, I don't know, maybe, no, let me take this values, all the months, and then I create, let me go back to, I'll stop sharing. Can you please mute? Please, there is a lot of noise. Can somebody mute? Those individuals who unmuted, please mute the. Okay, RStudio now. I am just going back to my RStudio, and then we have different, strategies to do this, and then Corona names. Okay, months information. See. You have the same strategy I am following. I can, since this is actually, here I can go for spreadsheet data, read, delimit, let me see, I don't know. Now clipboard, because I have that information in clipboard. Now I can just press enter, yeah, Corona names. I should have, yes, I have January, February, March, April, May, June. But here you see January, February, March, April. But we don't have the May and June. Let's see. Now, Corona values. Now I'm just going back to the values. I just, since this is a spreadsheet application, you can just use delimit, read, delimit, and then clipboard. So this copied information is there in my clipboard. Clipboard. Press enter. Now let me go for Corona data. Okay. Now see that data frame. C-bind means column bind. Corona names, Corona. My keyboard is a dirty box. I have a dirty keyboard with me. Corona values. Now let's see what's going to happen. Now you see Corona data. You have data here. Yeah, you got the data. Now the problem is how to do. One thing you can do, you can just try to find out. I don't know. Maybe see composite data frame. I call DS data frame. Means create data frame by using both of the MEI and Corona data. I don't know. I think I think I should have. So let me go for. I think here I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Here I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Last 2 data points I don't want. Okay, or I can just make one thing. I don't know why I'm going to the find. So this is actually the strategy. Okay. maybe MEI. I can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth row, and then yeah, fifth row. Then take these values, and whatever they are going to be May, okay, May, and then that is going to be none. NA. Let's see what's going to happen. Oh, invalid. The fifth row, take May, NA generated title warning message. MEI. So let's say, yeah, of course. Okay, fine. And now we'll go for, I think it is not correct. So what I do is, fifth row, first column, then take May. Please be patient. I know many of you are not able to follow. Come on. Okay. Now let me go first. I don't think we'll be. Okay, we'll do one thing. Corona data. Let's take the subset of the corona data. Corona data has got. I can just use dim of MEI. What are the dimensions? 5 rows and 2 columns. Dim of corona data. I think time is running up. 5 rows and 2 columns. I don't know why. How is it possible? Corona data and 5 rows and 2 columns. We got 5 rows. Okay, January is no. So it is not possible for us to take. Think there is a problem. Okay, fine. There is no corona data. January month is a column name. No, that is very bad. I think let me go to January data frame. I think I can make use of. Okay, I should be able to do corona names. Okay, here not from the clipboard. Yeah, I think I did a mistake actually. Corona data is CF data frame. So okay, I am going to use. There is another way I can also make use of, but this happens. See, this is what are the names of names? Is it going to see names of this till April? Let me take till April. Again, it is coming like this. Okay. Okay. That's fine. Okay, now let me make use of colon because they're all characters. Okay. And then another column is going to be values. And these values is going to be CF will take these values. Okay. So you may be feeling that, is it that difficult to do analysis? No. That I'm just, trying to. It is very easy to do analysis and all, but sometimes, we encounter a situation, yeah, corona, not that. Yes, and now we have MEI. Is it, yeah, MEI is equal to MEI minus fifth, I unnecessarily added fifth row. The MEI, come on. We have, where is corona? Yeah, January, February, March, April. Yeah, January, February, March, April. Yeah, we got the data. Now we got MEI, macroeconomic indices, microeconomic indices, and then we got corona data. Now we can do any kind of analysis. Suppose if you go for MEI, and I want the first column, You see what first column is going to be. I want second column. We got the values. So they're all the values. Mean of MEI. Suppose if I want to find arithmetic mean, then we have this MEI. They're all because they are not numbers. You can use type of the column to integer. Now it needs to be numeric. Is numeric. Now you got false. So that is why the mean is we are not able to find mean. As numeric, and then mean. I don't know. You got mean, right? And you can find standard deviation, SD. That is standard deviation. Mean plus or minus 1 standard deviations, 2 standard deviations. That is, you can do anything. Now you can also do one thing. Suppose if you want to find box plot for micro, I don't know. You see what the box plot for that particular. Now you want to find a scatter diagram for scatter smooth. You see the right side, if scatter smooth is not working. 20 warnings. Okay, you'll find scatter plot. Okay, you can just use plot. Okay, plot. Come on. You see what the plot? Only 4 data points. Okay, it doesn't matter. Like, you can just type is equal to line chart, and I can also show some color. Cold is red. Now you see there is a line chart. I can say type both. This is actually, so the values are going down. What is this? Macro. No, I don't know. Let me see. I'm using macro. I don't know, macro or micro. Macroeconomic indicators. So these are the status of the macroeconomic indicators against. Now suppose if I use instead of numeric, let me use MEI type, not type. I'll just leave everything, all this, and then this is a bar plot. That names are not coming. Okay, that's fine. Good. So plot as numeric. You got the. Now let us do the same thing for coronavirus. You got corona data, right? Corona data. Now you got the second variable is the data set. You got this, you see? Coronavirus was first 3 months, January, February, March, April. First 3 months till May it was okay, but after May, I think it was a lockdown. I don't know which lockdown, maybe 2 or 3, I don't know. So I think 4th lockdown. So after lockdown, it shot to great. It went further, touching the sky, kind of thing. You see, this is the status of. Now what we do, we can also plot both of them comparatively. Like you can plot microeconomic indices, and now you can add lines of this. You can just copy this, and you can just call it as line. Okay, come on. Call it like this. You can make any plot. Okay, what I'm trying to talk to you is that this any macroeconomic indices can be superimposed on, but here we are not going to use plot but lines.
Sir, Kamakshay, sir.
Yes.
Sorry to disturb you, sir.
Yes, please disturb me.
We have 10 minutes left, sir.
Okay, I'm going to wrap up.
Shall we go for question and answer?
I'll wrap up.
Answering, sir. If anybody, if anybody wants to ask questions, raise your hand and unmute yourself and ask questions to sir. I request the participants to raise your hand, unmute yourself.
Somebody raised their hand. I think I don't know, where do I have to go?
Good morning, sir. This is Sai Kumar from Narayana Engineering College, second MBA.
Okay.
I have some doubt regarding this helicopter money strategy, and recently Mr. KCR proposed helicopter money strategy. Is it right to implement or not?
It's a good question actually. It is out of the topic. Helicopter, frankly speaking, I don't know what is helicopter money strategy. Can you please talk something about helicopter money strategy?
That means I also can't have good knowledge about this. Just I can have a minimum about this. అంటే హెలికాప్టర్ మనీ స్టార్ట్ అంటే ప్రజలందరికీ మనీ ఇస్తారని చెప్పారు. ఆ విధంగా ఇవ్వడం వల్ల ఎక్స్ ఆర్బీఐ గవర్నర్ ఏం చెప్పారంటే ఇన్ఫ్లేషన్ అనే దానికి కూడా స్కోప్ ఉంది ఎక్కువ ఇంక్రీజ్ అవడానికి అని చెప్పారు. కానీ వీళ్ళు
Okay. No, I'm not able to find this chart. Yes, of course. I think that is not a good thing. You know, when you talk about this type of schemes or strategies, especially related to politics, politics is one of the important economic entity. We are very badly hit by this political agenda of the different political parties. They have different strategies and they roll on these strategies unmindedly. There are quite a few strategies in Andhra Pradesh announced by the Chief Minister Sri Jagan Garu, and in Telangana there are quite a few strategies. You see, if I talk about if you ask me the question like what is the impact of helicopter money strategy on economics of Telangana government, I don't know. I need some data to assess the relationships. Without having if I answer this question, it is going to be a guess. So I rather don't like to answer this question instead of just going by guess. Answering by guess is not good. So if you have statistics in your head, like how much of the money is being given to the public and is it truly went into the hands of the public, or so if you have that data, I can tell you how to perform analysis on that data and how to come to insights or something like that. I think we don't have time. Let us give a chance to the rest of the candidates. Anybody? Any other questions? I have a lot of things to talk actually in my presentation. There are a few more slides, but we don't have time. So that is why I just announced it for a Q&A session. Any questions?
Sir, will you please tell about what is the impact on the coronavirus Indian economy?
And there is very bad impact, you know. Our manufacturing sector was hit by coronavirus infection. I mean, this pandemic has brought a lot of impact on our Indian economy, especially manufacturing services, agriculture, and other core services like hoteling industry, and also health services. We don't have sufficient health mechanisms to afford for a cure, and there's a lot of things. I mean, all these things are there online, and we have a lot of data, like how badly coronavirus. These industries were being hit by coronavirus impact. At large, the whole economy was on standstill. Like the whole of the economy is logistics. So if the logistics is on work, the whole economy will be happy. So that was being hampered by the coronavirus. So resultantly, rest of the sectors are also very badly influenced by this pandemic. And if you ask me by evidence, I don't have evidence in my hand to what extent each industry was being affected by coronavirus. That is actually analysis. We have to perform some analysis and try to identify the evidence. Maybe we can do that, but not right now. You can search online, like which industry, what was the impact on each industry, and to what extent is it significant, insignificant. You can do a lot of activity. I can't just give a guess, answer.
Thank you.
Any other question? Questions, please. I think there are a lot of candidates here. Many candidates left. Okay, fine. So I have a lot of analysis to do. I thought of doing forecasting analysis. I thought of showing you how to forecast GDP as well as how to forecast by using coronavirus data. And I wanted to show you what will be the future by performing little forecasting algorithms inside our programming language. But unfortunately, I was not able to do that. Maybe in future, if we have more time, we will reconnect and try to do that. Any questions?
Sir, final question from my side, sir.
Yes.
ఈ రీసెంట్ గా ఇండియా గవర్నమెంట్ ఒకటి ప్యాకేజ్ ప్రకటించింది కదా, 10% జీడిపి తోటి ఆత్మనిర్భర్ భారత్ అభియాన్ అని. దాంట్లో లోన్స్ అనేది స్మాల్ స్కేల్ కి, మిడిల్ స్కేల్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ కి ఎక్కువ ఇస్తుంది. ఇప్పుడే మన ఇండియన్ బ్యాంకింగ్ సెక్టర్ లో కనుక చూసుకున్నట్టయితే నాన్ పర్ఫార్మింగ్ అసెట్స్ అనేది ఎక్కువ అయిపోయింది. దాని ఇంపాక్ట్ ఫ్యూచర్ లో బ్యాంకింగ్ సెక్టర్ మీద పాజిటివ్ గా ఉండొచ్చు అంటారా, లేదా నెగిటివ్ గా ఉండొచ్చు అంటారా?
Certainly it will have a bad impact. There is no doubt in that, because see, you have 1,000 rupees in your pocket and you have issued some amount of X amount of money to somebody in your family. You said, okay, I'm going to make this currency liquid. Don't you think that is going to affect your economies of scale in your home? In the same fashion, when government announce some percentage of GDP as a matter of sops to the public, it is going to affect very badly on economy. Our economy is going to suffer, but the thing is, I'm not trying to analyze this in a pessimistic way. If public work and there is a lot of, if the economy flourish, like through hard work, it may be possible to refill that particular lacuna in our GDP sooner or later. So it will have bad effect, but we have to find solution. So right now, the economy is suffering. So government has to take some action. So they thought this is a right kind of activity and they raised money into the system. Now when this money, the problem is not about the decision, the problem is about the implementation. I seriously suspect the implementation. I don't think this total 10% of the GDP is really reached to the exact section of the public. If it is not going to happen, I'm sure economy is going to suffer. There is no doubt in that. It has a bad effect, but we have to think of other sub-strategies as how to go back and refill this gap in the economy. That is what is my answer. And I don't have evidence-based analysis in my hand to give a more reasonable answer to your question. Other question? Other question? So most of the questions are not related to my topic. Okay, it's related to the topic, but not related to the data analysis or kind of thing. But anyway, that's fine. I'm happy with your questions.
Yes,
What
sir.
is feedback forms? What is the process about the feedback forms? Can you please explain it?
I'm not able to hear, sir. Please.
Already feedback link sent, ma. Feedback link sent to your mail ID.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sir. Shall we close the program, sir?
Yeah, if you think you can close. If you want me to talk, I can talk.
Yes, sir. Vote of thanks by myself. Hello. Yeah, sir. Vote of thanks by myself. I thank our management secretary Y. Vinay Kumar Garu and honorable principal Dr. C.H. V.S. Parameshwara Garu for taking initiation and giving all the necessary inputs to organize this webinar. Next, I thanks the today's resource person Dr. M. Kamakshay Garu on behalf of Narayana Engineering College for giving lot of insights and information with regard to impact of COVID-19 on Indian economy through data analytics. And last but not least, I thank the technical team, faculty member who directly and indirectly supported to organize this webinar. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All the best. God bless you all.
Thank you, sir.
See you
Thank
back.
you so much.
See you on later.
Closing the meeting, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you all.
Oh,